What is going on, guys? Thanks for spending your Friday night with us here at the MMA Engine. I'm your host, Betcha. My co-host, Mike, aka Couch Warrior. How you doing tonight, my man?
I'm chilling, man. It's a good night. How about you?
One more sleep for fights, man.
Yes, sir.
Interesting card. Some interesting.
To say the least.
Another one that like you start the week and you're like, oh, "This is terrible," and then you're like, "It's not so bad." And
I
then
didn't
by
even want
Friday,
to
you're
break
like,
down half of it
then you're like, "How'd I get 20 units on this? What the hell happened?"
every
But
week. Every
right.
week.
So you guys are just watching for the first time. This is our second time doing it. Thanks again for watching us. Please hit the like button if you can. Subscribe to the MMA Engine. Go subscribe to the Couch Warrior Pod as well. So this is the bet elevator. So this is a little different something we're trying where Mike and I will be bidding on fights. So for instance, I'll say I like fighter A at plus 110. And he's like, well, I like fighter A by knockout at plus 300. I go, well, I like round two. And we keep going until the person's like, I am not going to go with a higher odds bet than that. And whoever wins must make the bet. So we're not just spamming draws. I mean, we might have a draw in here, but we might.
Did you pick one? I'm going to pitch one to you later.
I do have one.
I'm going to pitch one.
I guess we'll get to it when we get to it. But and then we're going to post our bets tomorrow. So we hope you guys enjoy this. It's a little kind of variation on the crazy prop style. And Mike, once he gets to my age, is going to become a complete lunatic. He's already off to a.
I'm already a lunatic.
He's already off to a good start. But that being said, let's go to the tape and let's bring up our first fight of the night. This is Tetsuro Tyra versus Carlos Candelario. It's so weird, like going from where Monk hosts the earlier show to now I'm the, I have to get the host hat on here. Tetsuro Tyra, who I could not find a picture of even like an hour ago. I just can't find a good picture of him.
No face shots?
No, man. No, they're letting me down. Maybe they just figure he's not long for the UFC here, but he's facing Carlos Candelario, 10-0 versus 8-1. Tyra currently is listed on DraftKings at minus 240. The comeback on Candelario plus 195. Mike, why don't you start us off? What side are you taking? And where's the number going to start?
It's honestly a decent number considering it's a simple bet, but I'm going Candelario money line. I got lucky. I got him plus 250. I think plus 200 is okay. If I win this, I'll double down on that, but I have a feeling we'll get higher than that.
I'm gonna go. I'm on the same side as you. I like the Candelario side. I just too many unknowns, and honestly, I think Candelario should be 9-0 right now. Thought he won the fight against Altamirano, although, like I said earlier, wasn't really a robbery. I wouldn't call it a robbery, but it was a close fight. But we don't know a lot about Tyra. That's the problem here, is we don't know what he's like in the deep waters. We don't know what it's like if all of a sudden like the takedowns aren't working for him. But Candelario isn't like a huge finisher. He's high energy, but he's not huge volume. So I like Candelario decision. It's plus 400. Outside of anything like a round prop or other than like that, I don't think I can find a higher number than that. So I'm happy to hear you beat me here.
Yeah, I will beat you. It's going to be one of my 0.1 unit bets. Anyone who hasn't watched me or the show yet, I do a good amount of large odd 0.1 unit bets. I like it. It works for me. But Candelario round 3 plus 1,800. Like you said, Tyra's unproven still. I think he's been outside the second round twice, if I remember correctly. And Candelario can put on a pace. He's got decent cardio, I would say, and he's been training over at he's with Rob Font right now at the New England Cartel. So I feel like if he can keep it on the feet and tire out Tyra, round 3 finish is live.
Well, I cannot top that, sir. So you got this one. Candelario round 3 plus 1,800 is as high as we are willing to get on that particular fight.
The show.
All right, moving on. Everybody's the people's main event here. We got Gina Mazany against Shannon Young, the Shanimal. This is kind of a low-level fight. I'm sure Gina Mazany has frustrated Mazany backers in the past. I know she has frustrated me. The money line is minus 180 on Mazany. Come back on Shannon Young, plus 155. I will start this one off, and I'll start this one off a little simpler. I like this fight not to go the distance. It's plus 110. If you look at their histories, there are a lot of finishes on both sides. Mazany most recently by Cachoeira in that weird fight where she got stood up for reasons. I don't know that she would have gotten Cachoeira out of there. Maybe she gets a sub, but Cachoeira didn't take long to get her out of there. And Shannon Young is alternating between getting finished, and she has a couple of, she got finished by Sarah Alpar. She has a couple of wins by finish. So I know maybe the optics aren't great for this kind of fight to go the distance, but I'm going to play the numbers and I'm going to say it doesn't. I like the plus number we're getting at plus 110. I'm sure you can do better than that though.
Well, I'm on that bet too. And just to put it out there, if anyone does like that side, at least let me check if it's still there. But I saw that Caesars had it at plus 145. Yeah, it's still there.
Oh, nice.
That's a dope line in my opinion for that. But yeah, I can top it. So I feel like I might be one of the only people with this bet out there. But Shannon Young decision, no action. I'm on that. I've got 3 of those bets tonight, and this is the first one. Just a half unit, but plus 200. Shannon Young decision, no action is my next move.
All right, I'm gonna raise you up with Gina Mazany, round 1, round 2. It's plus 250. I do think she gets a finish, but I also think if this goes to the 3rd round, she's dead. So much to like your point. I mean, I know you think that like Shannon Young's live late. I think Mazany's only chance really is to get her out of there in the first 2 rounds. So round 1, round 2 finish is plus 250. You're up, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna top you again. This is another 0.1 unit bet for me, but Young by KO plus 1100 was on DraftKings, I think. In my opinion, that's a pretty crazy number. Plus 1100. In my opinion, that's the only way she wins this. I don't see how else Shannon Young wins this fight. I don't see her winning a decision, and I don't see her submitting Gina Mazany. And I do think she's live, so I think she's live for a KO. Yeah, plus 1100 is up on Bet Rivers, and then plus 1000 is the second closest line. I will be 0.1 unit on that.
So what's funny is I was going to come in hot with the last one and just go Mazany round 2, but that's only 700. So
still one.
All right, man. These are all right now. You got your 2-0 on me.
I'm hard to beat.
You got the first 2 plays. Well, you know, I got that vet savvy, so still got some show left here. But let's move on to a fight that like is kind of I might be relying on you for this one. That's Mike Breeden against Natan Levy. Levy is about a minus 190 favorite last night. Yeah, that's the wrong line. And all of a sudden, DraftKings is not showing any fights until May 7th. That is, there we go. It's very odd. Natan Levy's minus 2. I got it. Sorry, it was weird. Natan Levy's minus 200. Breeden is plus 170. I'll let you start on this one. This is a weird kind of stylistic fight, but
yeah, I mean this one's super weird. I'm on the money line, but I'm not going to give you guys that bet on this show. I'm going to be taking Levy by sub at plus 360. I think that's his best chance. I do think he probably ends up just winning the decision, but if it's going to be a finish, it's going to be a sub. So I'm going to be sprinkling plus 360 for the sub there. His striking's not great. I do think his grappling's really good. I understand Breeden's also never been subbed, I think, and only in his amateur career. So take it as you may, but I like the sub prop plus 360.
Well, this is going to be the shortest discussion ever in the history of the show because I cannot top that. I did look at the Levy sub prop. I like it. I do like, and he has some late subs, and I was debating going with some of the round props, but realistically speaking, I can't make anything out of Breeden's last appearance with short notice. He got smoked. Like, doesn't speak to his cardio. Really doesn't speak to his talent at all. And Levy, he looks like an Adonis, but he's not like he's not as strong as he looks, if that makes sense. Like, he looks like he should be the strongest guy in the UFC pound for pound. Like, guy's jacked, but you know, I think he can wear him down. I do think the late finish is live. I'm with you. I don't think he's getting a knockout. I even looked at the double chance. I looked at sub decision, but it's like minus 170. So you're really not getting any kind of savings to do it. But I like the sub. Like I said, I can't really trust the round props here and Levy's got subs in all different rounds. Like, so let's ride that one together, man. I'm also on it with you.
Let's do it.
All right. 3 in, and maybe I'll win one of these. You know what? I get the impression this next one's not the one, but we got a very interesting fight that the community MMA Twitter seems to be like 90% on one side here. We got Gabe Green against Johann Laney. The most important thing is that Green opened as a decent-sized dog, about plus 130. He's currently sitting at minus 130. This thing is completely flipped. The last time we saw him, he survived against Daniel Rodriguez, who like one of my guys that I love. Took a beating, but he hung in there. And Laney was on the Contender Series. Absolutely.
That wasn't the last fight. Green also fought Phil Rowe.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I still have the D-Rod fight in my mind. And he beat Phil Rowe in a very competitive, very entertaining fight. Last time we saw Lioness was on the Contender Series when he demolished Justin Burleson with a crazy left that like thudded through the arena. It was one of the best knockouts, one of the best finishes, if not the best finish of last season's Contender Series. I don't know if it was the best, but it's debatable. I will lead this one off. Despite all of Twitter being on the Green side, I just really like what I've seen from Laney's tape. I mean, the power is unbelievable. I know Gabe Green can take shots, but like my God. Oh, but finally somebody making a font reference. All week I've been saying.
I was just laughing
finally.
at that. I was just laughing at that.
I was like, why aren't like Brady and Wheezy? I have like over 2.5 fonts will be said in the show. Like, where's Helvetica when we need it? So as much as people like Green, I like the striking from Lioness is absolutely, he hits way harder than D-Rod as far as I'm concerned. He hits harder than Phil Rowe. Like, this guy's power is unbelievable. I think he's the bigger guy. I think he's the stronger guy. He does initiate wrestling. His weakness is the cardio, and I understand that. I don't think the cardio, you're the worst. I don't think the cardio is going to be a factor here. Kid Cleveland. Kid Homa.
We got some clowns in here.
So I'm gonna play Lioness. You're probably gonna beat me on this one, but I'm gonna take Lioness round 1 KO. It's plus 350. I feel like it's his win condition. I think it's insanely viable.
No, I agree.
You're not on his side at all, are you?
I'm not, but I'll say this. So I was quick to hop on Green because I got him at minus 110. So I saw those odds. I taped it as quick as I could, and I hopped on Green. And then I taped it a bit more, and I got a little less comfortable with that bet, to be honest. I'll give it to you. Laney's definitely got the power here. I don't know if he's stronger than Phil Rowe. I guess we're going to have to see if he hits harder, but I feel like Phil Rowe really hits hard too. But yeah, I think if Green survives this, I feel like he'll be okay to keep going.
I know where this is going. Should I just write it down now? I already know where it's going.
Do you have another one?
Other than you're going round 1 pop? If you're going Green round 3, I mean, like, or is this the draw? Or is this the draw?
This isn't that might not be the worst idea ever. If Laney like gets a knockdown,
I feel like if he gets a 10-8 in the first, it's over. Like, it won't be a 10-8. It'll be
he'll just finish him, right? Yeah.
So I don't know that.
I have 2 looks here. I'll go the lower one, and then if you got nothing, I'll hit you with the one already know it's coming. But sub plus 350 for Green. I don't hate that look. Laney's obviously never been sub. He's never been lost. He's never lost, but I think his ground game is still pretty green. And pretty green. And Gabe Green has a bunch of subs too. But
sure.
Do you have anything higher than that? No, I'm also hitting the round 3 prop. Also hitting the round 3 prop.
And I understand that in this case. I mean, you got a guy who's a gasser, like, who's shown some cardio issues, like in limited like action. I understand that. So what do you have the round 3 prop at?
I got it. I see it at plus 1100 last I checked.
Okay. Well, sir, you have won yourself a round 3 bet on this fight. I'm going to have, at this rate, I'm going to have 0 units. I'm going to have like the Levy sub. That's going to be like my only action from the show. Moving on. Another banger of talent. God, what did he call him in the earlier thing? Dollar store Figgy, or he called him. I forget what the name was. I should have written it down. But Francis Figueiredo against, I don't know if it's Daniel Da Silva, Lacerda. I just don't know. He wants to be called Da Silva, but he's named Lacerda. It's a real pain in the ass in the database trying to figure out which one I wanted here. But obviously I picked the wrong one. But because I have the stats wrong here. Figueiredo, he lost to Malcolm Gordon. I have nothing to add to that, like at all. Da Silva had a very like one of the more interesting 5.5-minute fights, almost like Gaethje-esque in terms of like crazy pace and damage against Molina. That was a wonderful fight to watch. Line's pretty close. De Silva's minus 130. Figgy is plus 110. You are up here. This is definitely a fight that's not so linear. That's just a binary fight here, I don't think.
Yeah, this one's tough, man. This is another one where I saw the odds and moved quick and took De Silva because I think I got him also at something crazy, like put minus 110, something like that. And yeah, I think it's super close. The more the week goes on, the less confident I am in De Silva. Because I'm thinking about it, right? And is he going to win a decision? What has he shown that he can do that? Is he going to sub Figgy? I mean, that's probably his best chance, but he's a black belt also. So I don't really know. I did play money line, so I'll start that with my bet for what is it now? Minus 120, minus 130.
130. I have it at.
Don't love it, but I would still play that, I guess.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to end your night right now. So I have two plays on this that I'm going to trump you on. One, this is the Yam Bag special. This is the point deduction bet.
Nice.
It's just I don't know how you trust Figueiredo. De Silva is a total gasser, like, you know, because he doesn't know how to pace himself. You know, I could see this thing getting like I could see him grabbing the cage and a takedown in round 2 once he's totally out of steam. The big thing for me here is not just the point deduction, though. I know he's never been to a decision in his career, De Silva, but I'm going to play the draw at 65-1. I see a couple of things here. A, if the point deduction's live, you have to think the draw is live, like always. Yep. But if De Silva really comes out in that first round and just starts spamming takedowns and damage and Figgy hangs in there and you get your 10-8, what's he going to have left in the second and third? As low volume as Figueiredo is, De Silva may be just complete. Like, he may just be you push him over. Like, you know, I have to do another Homer Simpson reference today, but like from, you know, when Homer would just like tap the guy at the end and the guy falls over, like that's what might happen to De Silva here. So I'm thinking the draw is very live.
I'm sold.
All right. So I finally won one. All right. So I'm playing the point deduction at 20-1, which you can find on DraftKings. I think FanDuel offers it.
It's
I know
20-1
offers it. Point deduction's always 20-1.
Wow.
There's only one here. Strangely enough, there's been one fight this year where it wasn't 20-1. It was lower. It was 18-1.
Who was it?
Can you name? I was gonna say, can you name the fight
this year?
I'll give you a hint. He's a notorious piece of shit, not just in the UFC, but in another professional sport.
In another, Greg Hardy.
Yep. Greg Hardy and was it Tybura? No, Spivak.
There was no point deduction, right? I don't think there was.
No, Hardy got smoked in like 3 minutes. There wasn't enough time for him to cheat. But so the point deduction at 20-1, the draw at, it's really weird. Like DraftKings draws are like 50-1. Everywhere else it's 65-1 typically for a draw.
One of them always has plus 8,000. I don't know who has bet 365, but plus 8,000 is wild.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we can have an account in America with that, but I could totally be wrong. I know I used to play poker on there and I'm like 15 years ago. Like, yeah, like just so you guys know, since I'm older than most of you, there was in fact the internet 15 years ago. You know, we had like Netscape Navigator and weird shit, but it did exist. So, all right, I'm on the board at 1. Let's move on now. I'm having a sense of deja vu here that maybe we did this one, so I don't want to cover it extensively. Just fire off your bet because you know you're getting this one, and let's move on.
Sure. Yeah, I'm playing 0.1 unit like always on Chase Sherman round 3 KO. It's as simple as Romanov gets outstruck essentially every fight so far on the feet that we've seen it. And it's like I was just watching the Rogerio de Lima one. He got pieced up on the feet too. I'm not saying Chase Sherman's going to come out here and spark Romanov. I think it's more than likely Romanov kills him. But for 0.1 unit to win 5 units on a round 3 KO, I'll take it.
Do you have a bet on the Romanov side that you think has good value before we move on? Because I have one that I really like.
I do. I think we both have it. Round 2, Romanov.
I have round 2 sub. It's 8 plus 850. I think he catches a leg kick and he could just. If he catches a leg kick, I think that's how he goes down. And I just.
Well,
I don't
I'd be
see him
worried
getting
about
a
the
knockout.
knockout on the ground because you know
that's what I'm worried about. Like that's right. You worried about that more than from standing.
Yeah.
But the sub prop's too good for me to and there's a reason I like the sub prop a lot here is. So, were you ever like a pro wrestling fan in your life?
Yeah, I grew up on WWE.
Okay, so like, I don't know if in your era you ever got to see like a lot of jobbers, like just they bring out the Saturday morning wrestling used to be like, here's like the Iron Sheik just crushing a jobber, like, and it's amazing because Chase Sherman is now like their equivalent. They brought him in just to feed other people and be a jobber. Oh, here we go. I don't know what the hell that means.
Yeah, I don't understand what that means either.
All right. Okay. I don't really care. Moving on. So if you like the Romanov side, you like the round 2. I think it was 475.
Yeah, I like his regular sub prop too. I have it for a half unit plus 125. I feel like that's good value too.
All right. Let's go to a fight that was not scheduled for last week. This is one of a couple of fights for me that makes me a little tricky for me. This is GM3 Cult Hero versus Christoph Jocko. Jocko is the slight favorite. He's minus 150 the last I checked. And 170 and Mearshart is plus 150. I'll let you start this one off. This is tough for me to pick, but go ahead.
Yeah, man, I was torn on this one all week. I was considering throwing Jocko into my money line round robin. And then I just kept thinking about it. And honestly, like, I'm just done betting against GM3 unless I'm convinced that he's not going to sub the person he's fighting. So I'm just going to go with GM3, decision, no action. I think the entire MMA Twitter is on this right now. So much so that it's gone down from plus 150 to I got it at minus 105, which I kind of hate, but it's his winning condition in my opinion. So that's what I'm on.
Yeah, so it's tricky for me because this is one of those fights where I know I want to bet. This is where I have the guy I like and what I think is going to happen. And I think Jocko can just avoid the takedowns. I mean, look, man, GM3, like the Stoltzfus fight was not ideal. I mean, he won, but it wasn't great. The Murdoch fight was, it was a great comeback.
Honestly, it wasn't so much a comeback. I rewatched it like twice the other day.
He's kind of beat up early, a little bit early.
Pressure. That's what he did. He just like Murdoch started like throwing overhands, and he never does that.
Right. I mean, it was GM3 has a weird way of making people fight strange, but yeah, I'm on the Jocko side. I think he's going to volume him all day. And honestly, I'm kind of in agreement with everybody this week. I just don't think he gets him out of there. I like the decision. MMA Asphalt and chat saying he's got him at plus 200. I have him at 190. And
that's good.
As much as it's like a bet I really don't want to make, it almost feels like the safest play on the board here. I'm sure you can get over plus 190 though.
That's a good one.
Are you going to go over plus?
No, I don't think so.
It. Yeah, this is a tough fight. Like, I'd love to lose this bet. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I'd love GM3 to get a sub. But
I was eyeing his sub prop. It's plus 380. His round 3 sub is plus 1900. But I don't know if I can get there.
It's a tricky one for sure. And so speaking of fighters that I love that I'm probably fading this week, Tristan Connolly's going up against Darren the Damage Elkins. Elkins is a decent favorite. I believe he is 170. Comeback on Connolly is plus 150. This is tricky. I'm going to start off here. So as much as I want to back Elkins and love the guy and like almost auto bet the round 3, I don't love that he's coming off that knockout. It's a bad look from Cub. I don't think Connolly's great. He has but he hung in there against Sabatini. By the way, the next time Sabatini faces a Canadian, decision. Take the decision prop. That's just what he does against Canadians. But
I just realized TJ too.
I like what I've seen from Connolly in both of his fights. He's nothing special, but he seems decently well-rounded. He doesn't have like a true hole in his game. Elkins has a lot more success against, you look at the guys that he beats, like Bektic, like the guys that come full tilt round one, round, Minner, that Elkins can outlast him with the cardio and then and then he has that great tank round three. Connolly has a pretty good tank. Connolly had a great tank against Sabatini round three. So I don't see Elkins having that kind of success here. But I think Elkins, strangely enough, for how awkward he strikes, may be the better striker. It's competitive, but I'm on the Connolly side at plus 150. I do have another bet that I like better, but we're going to get to that after you trump the plus 150.
Yeah, so I'm with you on Connolly. I told you that already. I agree with everything you said. I feel like Elkins what does he have going for him? Cardio and nonstop pressure, and I feel like Connolly also
an awesome tattoo. An awesome tattoo as well.
That's true. But I feel like Connolly does the same kind of pressure. If you watch his fights, like he did it against Pereira and he did it against Sabatini also. Sabatini was laterally moving the entire fight. So I do like a money line. As for anything higher than that, this was going to be my pitch for a draw, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. But I'm probably going to sprinkle Connolly KO plus 900. My only reasoning is that I think Elkins is getting a little cracked. So, but I'm not going heavy on it, just a sprinkle. My main play is just the money line, but plus 900, I don't hate for a KO.
All right, well, you're going to get that one. The one I had is right underneath that. I was going to have fight to end in round 3 at plus 850. It's Elkins. It's seemingly Elkins' win condition. And if the durability isn't there, then Connolly can start. Connolly has looked good in the third round of both fights we've seen him in the UFC. So actually, to think the third round just period could be like super fascinating with these two, because it is when Elkins like feels ready to fight. But Connolly KO, I think is live here. I mean, Elkins is not an easy man to make quit in any fashion of life. So, and he is coming off a KO 2 months ago. So,
Elkins
I don't hate
just have somebody almost KO him before every fight, and then he'll come in peak form.
Well, yeah. I mean, if he just comes in bloody already, then the judges can't be like, well, he's gotten beaten up from taking damage. It's that simple. All right, moving on. Now, this is if not for the Gabe Green Johann fight and the main event, I feel like this is the most interesting, exciting fight on the card. And it still may be when it's all said and done. We got Jared Gordon against Grant Dawson. Grant Dawson, the last I checked, he's minus 190. Gordon is plus 160. One thing I need to stress about this fight, I've seen everybody talking about betting Grant Dawson. I have not seen this line move all week. So a little interesting that I hear so much, on one side, but again, it's not moving. I'm going to start off here, if I may. I'm going to play the violence prop to start. I'm going to play fight doesn't go. It's plus 140. It bakes in two things here. It gives me Gordon against Dawson's, lack of cardio late, which we've seen some liabilities. I don't think his first fight out of ATT is going to fix that, but you never know till the fight starts. And it also plays into Dawson being a fast starter, spamming takedowns, ground and pound. And if you look at their histories, I think up until recently, most of Dawson's wins are ended finished. Like Gordon has been finished. He has several finishes. He didn't finish Selecki, but I like the violence aspect here. I actually like fight to end in KO is kind of an interesting way to do it too. But I'm going to start off with the fight doesn't go at plus 140 odds. Mike, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be beating you, man. Honestly, for me, this one is just money. I just bet money line Grant Dawson. I got him earlier. Like I think I got minus 170. I want to say something like that earlier this week.
It dipped a little bit. It was weird, because it opened. I thought it opened at 175, and then it was like a quick spike down. And it's kind of just stabilizing.
Yeah, best fight odds. I'm looking at Bet Online. It's saying it opened at 200, then it popped all the way up to minus 140 this past Sunday, and now we're back to minus 190.
That's crazy. That's one huge bet on Gordon.
But I'm going to be going with you on that fight doesn't go, actually. I didn't even think about it until you said it, and then I do like that. You can get it for plus 160 on Bet Online. So
I'm going to give you a little bonus play here, too, if you're interested.
Let's hear it.
Now, I actually entertain the draw here, but I'm like, there's just no way he has 2 draws in a row. Like, it's not, like, I just can't conceive of that happening. But you have to look at Gordon round 3 here with Dawson's cardio issues. Ricky Glenn was what, 2 seconds away from beating him round 3 last time, and Glenn hadn't fought since like 1983. So I like the Gordon side here as a round 3 prop. It's 22-1, which again, you have the case of a guy who's a gasser against a guy who has, I think Gordon has pretty good cardio. I mean, he fights awkwardly, but his cardio is top notch. And I think it's worth a small poke on our favorite round 3 props here. But fight doesn't go is our play at plus 140. That is a lose special. All right, moving right along. 3 fights to go here. I will let you lead us off with Andre Touchy-Feely against Joe Anderson. It says 26 here. I know that's wrong, and I know he's not 27 either.
42.
Joe Anderson. Yeah, I think those numbers are in the wrong order. Joe Anderson, Brito. Brito lost to my guy, Bill Algeo. It was a really fun fight. Algeo is so scrappy. Feely, a little bit of bad luck last time out against Pineda. Pineda didn't bitch out. He tried to fight through everything. But Feely looked excellent while that fight was going on. I'll let you start the bidding here. Feely is a pretty substantial favorite. He's, if not for Romanov, who's the biggest favorite on the card, I believe Feely is the biggest money line favorite on the card other than him. He's minus 260. I got the comeback on Berto is plus 210. What side are you on, man? What do you got?
Yeah, so I'm a huge Feely fan, honestly, and mostly because he makes me money. But I don't know. I get a weird feeling here. I do feel that Feely's better just about everywhere, but I just couldn't shake the feeling that I think Brito might finish him. But because I think Feely still should win, I'm doing honestly, it's becoming one of my favorite bets. The decision, no action for Brito, plus 200. I don't see Feely really finishing Brito. I think he's a tough dude. I think that Feely probably wins the decision is the most likely outcome here. But I think Brito's live for a finish at any point in the fight, really. He carries a lot of power. We saw him. You would think a guy with his stature and his figure would slow down by round 3, but if anything, he picked up in round 3 against Algeo. That's when he did best.
He did. So, he kind of had a lull in his cardio and then woke up.
Round 2, right?
The second he looked like he was kind of running out of steam, and then all of a sudden it you don't see that you don't see too many guys like that have that kind of. It's like he had a second wind immediately. I was impressed.
Yeah, so I'm hoping he just levels that and uses it all 3 rounds evenly. But I do think he can get a finish. So plus 200, decision, no action. I like it. That's my play.
I'll tell you, if you do like the Berto side, I like the way you're betting it because I just don't know how he wins a decision unless he goes crazy wrestling heavy. I just can't see it. So I'm on the other side, but my expert analysis of being on the other side is it's Wheezy's ass shaving of the week. And I am not standing in front of that train of Wheezy's ass shaver in the week. Me and him talked.
Why not Romanov?
Because Romanov as his ass shaving of the year.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah, he's the ass shaving of the year. So for 2 weeks in a row now, of course. So, and I hope they schedule Sherman Romanov every single week the rest of the year. I'm fine with it, man. Look, they're going to keep paying Sherman. I'm sure he's fine with it too. So I'm on the Feely side. I do think he gets him out of there. I do think he puts a pace on him. And one thing I made mention of is when Feely fought Jourdain, he won by decision, but that's starting to look like that win is starting to age, I think, pretty well. So I'm going Feely round 2. Now I would say KO at 7-1. I'm going to play round 2 at 6-1 solely because last week I didn't see 2 Canadians getting first round subs. Blew my mind.
Who's the second Canadian? Jourdain and
Barriol.
Oh yeah,
against Jordan Wright. The guy.
Jordan Wright shot takedowns. What the fuck was that?
Jordan Wright is. I'm going to make a bold statement on air. Jordan Wright is not a good fighter.
That's not bold.
He has bad. He has I like his power, but this fight IQ is I don't know, man. No. Barriol just owned them, and you met. So if you had both of them getting round 1 subs, take a bow, because I don't think a lot of people had that action. But Feely round 2 for me plus 600. I think the volume's going to add up. I think Feely's got some underrated power too. I mean, he was crushing Pineda. Now, is Pineda as good as Brito? I don't know how. If I think Brito feels to me like he's better. They're kind of similar, but maybe Breedo's a little more durable. I guess we're going to find out, but I'm going to take the poke on the round 2 prop here with Feely.
I like it. I don't hate it. But yeah, I'm not going to beat it without forcing anything. I was looking at Breedo inside the distance plus 750, but I'm not going to push it any further than I already have.
Ooh, all right. I mean, that's kind of his. You're playing it safer, but that's kind of a fun way to look at it. If anybody out there is on the Breedo
unit
side,
sprinkle, maybe we'll see. I'll probably end up betting it.
Anybody on the, I may bet it. I'm betting it. Anybody on the Breedo side, that's kind of an interesting way to look at it. Feely is, he's not invulnerable. So
Jourdain rocked him in round 1 big time with that hook.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh yeah, he's not. I mean, he can get put out. So he doesn't have a legendary chin, but Feely moves well. So
he does.
And now the co-main event. So I had to make the image bigger to get this fat tub of goo over the American flag. But the pride of Belarus, for the Belarusian section of Cleveland, Andrei Arlovski, going against the guy who led to Sherman's current state, I guess, Jake Collier. It's a really close to line fight. Collier right now is a slight underdog. He's plus 110. If you want to start, that's fine. I only have one play I'm going to do on this, and if you beat it, you beat it. I get the impression, you may actually have the same bet as me here.
Good chance. I'm not going too crazy on this one. I split a 1 unit bet. I did it half and half. I did half Arlovski money line and the other half Arlovski decision plus 140 on FanDuel. I feel pretty strongly that Arlovski wins this fight, but yeah, so plus 140 decision for me. How about you?
Well, it's an Orlowski fight. And the last time he fought, I had him to win by split decision.
No way.
I did. I don't. And I actually thought he lost the fight. I honest to God thought Vera won the fight. I mean, again, not a robbery, but very close. And I didn't think Orlowski looked very good in the 3rd round. Collier's big, dude. I mean, he came in at 265. He's going to have a 20-pound advantage, but it's not like he's a power puncher, and it's not like he's doing a lot of wrestling. So, like, I don't know if his size is really like it's not a big factor here to me. So, I feel like this goes to a decision. Arlovski's been pretty durable, and Arlovski's not knocking people out at the stage of the game. So, fight to go to a split decision plus 400. I feel like it's like the only way this fight can end. Like, I mean, could it be a draw? Probably not. I don't see a 10-8.
I thought about that, but I don't think so either. If they gave 9-9s, then maybe.
Yeah, I mean, but the split decision to me, I mean, look, they could have 3 rounds. The 3rd round is going to be super intriguing here because, like I said, Arlovski does not look good, and Collier does not have that kind of durability, that kind of cardio. It depends on who comes out fast. I mean, like, we'll see what happens, but I could see all these rounds being like, I think that's a 10-9 fight array. Like, I don't know. So yeah. I'm playing it's going to end in a split 400. Don't care who wins. What about you?
I don't hate that. I don't think I could beat that, honestly. Like I said, I really do think Andre wins. So maybe what's him by split? That could be interesting.
I thought about that as well. And I also do not hate that. Let's see, to win by a split majority decision. I have him at 600. It's actually Collier to win by a split decision is 12-1.
And Arlovski's 600.
Yeah, like that's weird. Why is
I don't
he
really
double?
like that? Yeah, that's weird. I wouldn't say. Yeah, that's weird.
I might have to take a poke on that. Collier,
I don't
12.
know, man. I just don't get.
Well, explain. Can you explain something to me?
Mm.
Explain this. This is a fight that's essentially a pick'em that we know is going to decision. Why is one guy's decision prop double the other guy's on a pick'em?
No idea.
Does that not seem bizarre?
It's weird.
I think I got to go with the value there and at least take a shot on this block of cheese to get a split decision. But at least if it ends in a decision, or like I said, it's weird that Orlowski's, if it ends 400 and 600, it's kind of, again, for such a close line fight, that those odds are bizarre.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go with the fight to end in a split decision. Guys, thanks for hanging in. Like, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Thank you for spending your Friday with us. We really do appreciate you guys. Before we get to the main event, a couple of you live now. Just all I want to say is we got new things coming on the horizon. Like, I'm using the Fight Studio. It's going to be available for content creators. Just fixing the bugs. That's it. We're at the final phase. There is an off week for fights after the 21st, and we are targeting that week to launch once we have a 2-week gap between fights. So really excited to bring all this stuff to you. And at the end, I'll let my partner plug all his amazing projects and channels he's got going on. But we have reached the main event. I mean, what a battle this is going to be.
The great divide on Twitter right now.
I think this is going to, it is a great divide. I think it's going to be everything we want. Rob Font against Marlon Vera. Rob Font, small favorite, minus 130, I believe was the last I looked. It might be more. I have it more, minus 130, plus 110 on Vera. Let's get the elephant out of the room first. Let's talk about the scales today. So Font, 3 pounds heavy. I didn't like his body language, but physically I didn't think it was too bad. But what was your take on it? Did you catch anything? Is this an advantage? Do you think this is an advantage?
I'm strongly in the boat of you can't take too much from weigh-ins. I almost never do. And then I hopped on that weigh-in boat with Drakkar Close, and it just proved why I was never in that boat to begin with. Look,
yeah, I did with Aspen Ladd.
I wrestled back in high school, so it's not like anything like what these guys do. It was a much lower level. I cut weight, and it had much less of a stake. But I'll say this, like, we looked like shit on the scales, and we normally got way less time to recover than a full day. And when we did have a full, like, 24 hours to recover, I was fine the next day. Again, not high stakes. These guys are cutting more, but I just feel that these guys are pros. Weight cuts go bad, but most of the time I really feel like it doesn't affect the actual fight. So I'm still on Font, man. I agree. He looked a little drained for sure, but that's just kind of what a weight cut does. That's what I feel about it.
And so you're going to play him by decision? You're just going to play him with the money?
Nah, I don't want to put. I do think he's only going to win by decision. I really don't see him finishing Vera, but because of the output and 5 rounds, I'm not comfortable like for sure going with that. So I just took him money line minus 130. Like it's nothing too. Now it's minus 126 on Bet Online. Okay, if it keeps going, I'll probably add. But I have a money line.
Vera's been a popular, he's a nice popular dog for this week. I think this is not a card with a ton of name value to like the casuals, as people like to say, but people like the guy. So all I have to say about the weigh-in stuff to me is it's not like Font's some pacey wrestler. Yeah, 3 pounds matters on a 135-pound frame. I understand that. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't even think it's going to matter for this fight. I really don't see the 3 pounds playing into the way this making the fight any different. So, look, if you like Vera, obviously the way to bet him is after round 1. We know what he does now. He likes to start slow. But I have not been able to pick a side all week. So I had to look at other props. The time props are all juiced. Like there's no fight to go is juiced. So I had to get a little creative, and I ended my night with back-to-back fight to end in split decisions.
This one too.
I do, and I'll tell you why I like. And this one's a little higher up. This one is, I think it was more than 400. It is 500 plus 500 for fight to end in a split. So my reasoning is very simple. Font is going to be the minute winner. He's going to have the volume. He's going to be technical. And Vera's the moment winner. He's going to land the bigger shots. I don't think he's going to backpack Font. I don't think he's going to get knockdowns like Aldo did. I think he can get at least one knockdown in this fight. But I don't think I don't think anybody's getting a finish here. But I could see this being one of those fights where Font, 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, piecing him up with a jab. And then Vera comes back and either ends the round well, or he just hits that one big shot, knocks him down and swarms him. I could see these rounds being just really like difficult to judge. And all it takes is like one Sal D'Amato to do it for us here. So I don't hate the value at 5-1. 5-round fights not many 5-round fights have ended in a split decision, except for, of course, the one that Clint lost his mind on with a Funk Master.
Good for him, man. That was a great.
Oh yeah, I know. I was so very happy for him. So traditionally, these 5-round fights do not end in split decisions very often, but I'm liking the way I think each guy can win each round playing into that. So I'm at plus 500. I can't go any higher than that from anything I've looked at. It's a very tricky fight to me. It's a tricky fight to handicap. I know you're big on the font side, but I
Yeah,
can make a case for either one. To be completely honest with you, like I could.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat you, and just because I'm on the font side, I like to cover my ass if I can. And personally, I think that if Vera wins, I think it's gonna be round 4 or 5 by a finish. So I'm gonna be playing both of those for 0.1 units. Round 4 is plus 2,600. Round 5 is plus 2,800. Everyone's right in the regard that Vera he comes on late, and he's also extremely violent. Like, he's just a violent fighter. So I think that if he wins, he finishes, and it's possible. So I'm not going to discount him completely. So I will be playing that.
Yeah, that does fit into his win condition. Well, you win that one. So let me recap where we're at. Let me recap what we ended up with bets today for you guys. And thanks for hanging in. Mike's got Candelario round 3 plus 1,800. He also has, I can't even read my own. Shannon KO plus 1,100.
Ew.
We were both right. We were both on the Natan Levy sub at plus 360. He is on the Gabe Green round 3 knockout at 11-1.
Not knockout, just round 3.
Or round 3, I'm sorry, at 11-1. I'm on the De Silva Figueiredo draw and Yam bag shot at plus 6,500 and plus 2,000 respectively. So if you just want to root for chaos, have at it. Mike is on the Sherman round 3 KO, but also we both like Romanov round 2 at plus 475.
That's the real one. That's the real one.
As a reasonable play here. We're gonna look back at this and be like, betting him round 2 was not a reasonable play. It was a horribly unreasonable play. We went real small in the Jocko GM3 fight. We have Jocko decision plus 190. Just not a lot of options really for that one. Mike is on the Connolly knockout at 9-1, which I will also probably be playing that one as well. I kind of like the equity there. We're both on the Gordon fight doesn't go the distance at plus 140, but I will also be adding the Gordon round 3 at 22-1 just to play in the narrative of Dawson's gas tank. I've got Feely round 2 at 6-1. But Mike had some interesting takes on how to play Breeden and get some really good value, even more so on top of that money line. So I think the no scorecards is a really nice way to play that Breeden side. We both agree if he wins decision, it would be shocking.
Very.
And then I'm on the Arlovski Collier fight to end in a split decision at 4-1. Again, my only analysis there, it is an Andre Arlovski fight. This is how they end. And finally, we're ending with, even though Mike is on the font side, he's taking a stab at the late rounds. Vera round 4 plus 2,600, round 5 plus 2,800. I'm actually surprised those two are so close together. Surprised you didn't get like 3,300.
It was steeper before, but I guess everybody came onto it, which makes sense. But
yeah, I mean, earlier in the week, Elkins round 3 was 1,000, and I'm like, oh, the bookies are just onto him now. They know this is his win condition. It's just round 3. But those are the bets, guys. We'll be posting them on our respective Twitters. I usually do it tomorrow morning when I post the majority of my action while I'm busy losing soccer bets at like 7:30 in the morning. And that's all we got. Mike, tell the people where to find you and what you got going on, your schedule, everything.
Yes, sir. So I have 2 shows each week on my channel, the Couch Warrior Podcast, my Twitter, Couch Warrior Pod. That's where I put all my picks as I make them. I'll put stuff up at like 2 a.m. because that's when I'm breaking down a fight and I make a pick. So I put it up there. If you want to see my picks when I put them, that's where to find them. I do a show on Tuesdays at around 8 o'clock. Still working on an official permanent time, but right now we say around 8 o'clock. And that's where I just break down the upcoming card. And then the day after on Wednesdays, I do another show around 8 o'clock for the fantasy apps. I say apps because I don't just do DraftKings. I focus more so on Prize Picks. That's my thing. I like that app a lot, and I feel like not so many people cover it right now. So that's what I like to do. And yeah.
I think as that becomes available in more states, that Prize Picks is definitely like a really cool. We can't do it in Pennsylvania. Like I really wish we could, but Prize Picks offers some really cool things. It's really interesting ways to play the cards. I think
overs on takedowns and stuff. You can't bet that on a book.
Right. And like you and I mean, we're already prop guys in this. Like I'm a prop guy in NBA as well. So like I always like those angles on fights. It's a good way to get off the side. As far as I'm concerned, I do 2 shows on Fridays, 5:30. I got the happy hour, 8:30. We got the bet elevator with my co-host here, Mike. I'm with Monk at 5:30. Next week, I'm like crazy ass busy because Brady will not be around all week. So I'm subbing in for him on Probability. I'm subbing in for him on Pub Sports and the DFS show. So I'm putting on my DFS hat next week. Not just props. Now I'm putting on the DFS hat. So we'll see how that goes. But a lot of good stuff next week. Big pay-per-view. Guys, I would say bet responsibly. You know I'm lying. Have fun with the bets. Like, let's go. There's some big money to be made on this card. And guys, have a wonderful night. Take care.